What's up guys, DLBDAILY here, and I got a sample DLBDAILY chest workout for you. So DLBDAILY is my personal website where you can join and I give you workouts every single day. I'm your trainer. So this is just one of the workouts of the week, which is chest day. I got a really good, quick, definitely not easy, but quick chest day. So let's get going. Alright, before we begin, I always like to warm my shoulders up. I'll do a little band work, and then I came to the cable. We did a little cable external rotation, so you're going out to the side, and then we did the other, I can't think of what this would be called, another external rotation, but top to bottom. Just open up those rotator cuffs, get them ready to work. So now we are on our first set. Now, normally I typically always start with bench because I love benching, but we're gonna switch things up. We're heading to the cable, and I got a nice little superset for you. This little compound set is going to be a cable fly, flat cable fly, which I'm gonna have some tips for a better contraction for you. And then we're going into a cable Sven press. So if you've never done a Sven press, we're doing it with a cable, which most people do these with plates. So I thought, why not try it since we're at the cable machine? So first things first, we have our first of the compound set is just a nice, big, wide fly. Now, a couple key things here. If you have a cable machine where these move, you might want to move it down a little bit more to create more of that flat fly. I'm a little bit higher than normal, but we're not gonna actually do like a decline fly. I want you to keep this chest level. So when you bring your arms out, you're gonna start right here at your chest, pull your arms out, and that's where I kind of want you to fly. So when you bring your arms out, we're gonna stay right in front of our chest instead of coming down, which would be more like a decline fly. Now, a couple key tips for flies. You're not bending your elbows and then straightening them. That would be a cable press. Also a good thing, but we're gonna keep our elbows in that fixed position. So they're always slightly bent. When they come back, I don't bring them all the way back. You might think like, oh, I'm getting a better stretch. Yes, you're definitely getting a better stretch, but if you go too far back, you now transfer all of that to your shoulders instead of your chest. So we wanna keep it in our chest. So generally I would tell you just to stop your hands basically right by your shoulders, maybe even a little in front of your shoulders, to keep that contraction on your chest that whole entire time. If you go too far back, it then transfers over here to our arms and our shoulders. So we want to keep it on our chest the whole time. So stop pretty much even. Your arms should be pretty much even with your body. They shouldn't be behind your body. I know range of motion is something like, oh, the more range of motion, the better. Sometimes it's not always better. So stop here. You then, when you fly, when we come together, I'm gonna have you bring your pinkies together. Instead of normally you just fly and you fly straight, we're gonna add a little bit of an internal rotation, which is gonna give you even a better, deeper contraction right in the middle. You can literally see that chest line. You'll see all the striations pretty much come out, and that's where you're gonna get that nice big shelf. I don't know if that's like something like girls really want, but for me, I've never had cleavage, so I've built my cleavage and I kind of like it. So I've actually created my own illusion. It's like a mirage. Like when you go to like the desert, it's like, is that a lake? Or like, are those boobs? Like, no, it's chest separation. So I created my own cleavage. I'm very proud of it, all right? So to enhance that, I'm gonna take my shirt off so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. But when you fly together, I want you to internally rotate and you're gonna come pinkies together. It just gets a nice deeper contraction. Then come out and then in, pinkies together. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So I'll at least show you the difference from here to here. Here to here. It's just, I mean, I can feel it. I don't know if I can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but you're just coming back, stop, even with your shoulders, and then pinkies together. See, kind of, it's like an illusion, right? You can, like, are those boobs? No, they're pecs. And then we'll go 10 to 12 rep range there. Concentrate on the eccentric. So slow on the way back, maybe a 2-3 second on the way back. And then we're gonna go right into what's called a Sven press. So Sven press, a lot of people do it with plates. And you hold 2 plates together and then we're just pushing out. So we're pre-exhausting, because you should be able to do a decent amount of weight with the Sven press, but we are pre-exhausting our chest with our flies that when we get to the Sven press, I don't want you to drop, I don't want you to even add weight. You're just gonna keep that weight. So keep it right here in front of your chest, and then you're just gonna like kind of lock your fingers, and then we're just gonna bring it to our chest, and then out. Chest, and out. Sven press. Whew. And that will also be a 10 to 12. Concentrate on the eccentric, slow on the way back, fast on the way out. 2 to 3 second tempo rate on the eccentric. Sorry, I was just thinking about the desert and how my chest is like a mirage in the distance. On the last set of the cable flies, we are doing a double drop set. That means you don't drop it once, you drop it twice. And that's just on the last one. So you got 3 regular sets, Sven press right after that, same 10 to 12 rep range. But on the last cable fly, we're doing a double drop. So if I'm at, because you're not gonna probably be that high, you're just gonna pretty much drop a plate. If you're a dude, you might be able to skip one, but I generally drop a plate, do 8 to 10 more. Drop a plate, 8 to 10 more. Ah! All right, we're heading on over to incline. So today's workout is a little more upper chest, front delt. I think for me, I love incline, and if I can work my shoulders a little bit more on chest day, heck yeah. So then I don't have to do as many front raises or anything on shoulder day. I can focus on rears and laterals. So we're heading to incline. Nothing crazy fancy here. We're going 12, 10, 8, 6, and then that one's, the last set's gonna have a drop set. So you're gonna drop by about 40% and then try to hit 10 more. And then we're just supersetting with a little bit of shoulder work because why not? I normally throw a lot more shoulders into my chest day. Today there's just a little hints here and there. So I don't like to do one exercise at a time. So for your incline, we're going at like a 30, 45%, you know, put it on an incline. The higher up, the more shoulders you get. The lower is gonna be a little more chest. So if I went 1 notch higher, I would be probably feeling a little more in my front delt. So we're in that regular, what would probably be an incline bench on your barbell. So when you come back, to keep pressure on your chest, a lot of times I will see people come like all the way down here. Again, we're going with the range of motion. This is great range of motion, but again, when I go past, like my elbows are past my shoulders, all I feel is in my front delts. So I feel a great stretch, but all that weight just completely went from my chest to my shoulders. Yes, it's going to be in your shoulders throughout the movement because that's a huge part of your incline, but to be able to stop that from transferring all to your shoulders, you're going to stop pretty much at your like 90 degree. You can go maybe a little bit lower, but I generally would say this part of your arm should pretty much be straight. That way you're going to keep that contraction on your chest the whole time. You will feel it in your shoulders because your shoulders are pretty much what's stopping it, and then you will press up. Okay, whether you want to turn them or just clank them together. I know when just when I first started lifting, I just thought that's like what you had to do. You had to like clank them together on every single rep, and you don't have to do that. A lot of times I will just come straight up and straight down. So another big thing here is you're going to notice when pretty much any time I bench, whether it's a flat bench, incline bench, I always have an arch. And that's because I want to have my shoulder blades into the bench. And when I do that, I'm keeping my chest up. So I want your chest to be up. So there's a huge misconception like, oh, if like you need to have your back flat. Having my back flat on an incline just honestly just feels weird, and it will put more strain on my shoulders than anything. That's honestly the biggest thing I see with arching. One, I'm stronger with an arch, so you'll always see power lifters arching. Arching is not a bad thing on a on a chest day, because you're not axially loaded. So meaning if you're squatting, yeah, you don't want to arch because the weight is on your back, so which is axially loading your back, which can strain. This is above you. It has nothing to do with your back, so arching is not going to hurt you. It puts you in a better and more sturdy position. You can really set your lats into the bench, and that's a lot of what a bench is that lat movement right there. Anyone that has a good strong back or a strong bench has a really strong back or big lats. All right, so key tips: when you come back, set your scapulas pretty much into place. Chest is up. Maybe when you start, you're a little bit lower, but as you're pressing, to keep the focus on your chest, don't come all the way down here. This is all shoulders. If you want to save your shoulders a little bit, you're going to stop so that you're about 90, or at least that your arms are even with your shoulders, not your elbows shouldn't be below your shoulders. Otherwise, this is all shoulders for me. And then whether you want to clank, that's fine. You can just go straight up. If you want a little bit of a bit more squeeze, you can go in a little bit. And it's okay to arch, I promise you. So 12, 10, 8, 6. Last set has a drop set. After each set, you're going to grab some dumbbells. And we're just going to, because we're here, and we're already at the dumbbell section, I am doing Y raises. So a Y raise, you basically make a Y with your arms. So this would be a front raise, or they call it like an I, which would be straight out in front of you. Lateral would be out here. So we're like right in between a front and a lateral raise. So you're going to hit your front delts, you're going to hit your medial delts, and you might even feel a little bit in your rear delts as well, but generally going to be that front and medial head. So you're going to lay facing chest down, and then just coming up in a Y. Ooh, I went pretty heavy to try to explain this to you. You're coming up in a Y and back down. Focus on like slowly lowering. Don't come up and let them just drop down. So up, maybe like a 2 count down. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Just to get a little more of that little shoulder work. You'll feel a little bit in your traps. Because, you know, everybody loves shoulders. I mean, I do. All right, we are back and we are doing another incline movement. This has been one of my favorite movements. It is a kneeling landmine press. So it's actually kind of similar to that Sven press, but we are going to be pushing upwards, which is going to get that upper chest to get that big shelf on top, create that separation so you have this to work with. You can fool all the boys, pretend you have boobs, but it's kind of very similar to the Sven press because your hands are going to be in that same position, which is nice and close. So when you're close in, you're keeping that contraction that whole time, but we're going to be pushing up, holding at the top for 2-second count. So we're not just repping, we're going to go up. And then at the top, I really want you to squeeze. And the way we're gonna do that is concentrate on trying to bring those elbows together. So as you press, you might find your elbows out. I want them tucked as much as possible, but sometimes as I press, they'll be out. But at the top, I want you to actively try to like pretend that you're trying to touch your elbows together, and you're gonna get that deep contraction right in the center of your chest. So that 2-second hold, touch your elbows together. You're not, I mean, I can't say that you're not. I've seen some bendable people in my day. I can't. But press up and then try to lock in your elbows and try to pretend like you're touching them together. Now, I am going to be doing my landmine on a T-bar row. If you have one of those things where the barbell, like I used to call it a barbell condom, you put it into the barbell condom. You can also just lean a 45-pound barbell in a corner and then put a dumbbell over top of it just so it kind of stays still. Once you're doing the landmine, I want you make sure that you keep your shoulders back, chest is up. As always, for any kind of chest movement, we want our chest up. You don't want to be sunken in trying to do chest up. You're going to grab the bar. I just basically put my 2 thumbs side by side and then wrap my hands over top. You'll be slightly at an angle, so you're leaning forward, shoulders back, chest up. You're going to draw the barbell down to your chest, and then squeeze up, and then pretend that you're trying to touch those elbows together. So down, up, and squeeze. 2-second count on every single rep, 8 to 10 reps. After that, we're gonna go over, and now we're going to increase our range of motion, and we're going to do some deficit push-ups. So deficit means you're higher, which also means that you can go a lot lower. So now we're gonna over-exaggerate our push-ups, which will then call on our shoulders a little bit more. So I just do them, you can do them on, you don't even have to be this high. You just need to be a couple inches. So if you just wanna grab maybe 2 plates and stack them up, you could just grab 245s. You don't need to be super high. It depends on how much range of motion that you want to get. But we're gonna go right into these. Now the thing that I want you to concentrate on this one is the eccentric. So we're gonna go super slow on the way down, 3-second minimum eccentric lowering. So you'll get into your plank position. Now, big thing here is making sure that you keep your hips high. So you gotta squeeze your butt, tighten your abs. Anytime you do a push-up is gonna work your core. So this is also a great core exercise along with chest, shoulders, and triceps. So core is nice and tight, butt is tight. When you come down, we're going 3, 2, 1. And I want you going past, I want your chest to be going past your hands. And then we're gonna go up fast. 3, 2, 1, up. 3, 2, 1, up. Concentrate on the eccentric for that. So 8 to 10, I'm gonna say 8 to 10, but I'm just gonna go till I can't go anymore. So slow the reps down. I don't even really know, like after I do this, how many I'll be able to do. Go to failure. Just, I don't even know why I even write numbers. Go to failure on everything. We are on the floor. So I don't have a decline bench. So a lot of times either I will take a regular bench and I'll decline it myself with plates, or what you could do is some floor presses but in a glute bridge. So we're gonna be doing some floor presses. The one thing I really like about floor presses is, one, it's super safe with your shoulder, because as you're pressing, you can't go any further than this. So like I was saying when we were doing the incline, with stopping here to keep all the concentration on your chest, it stays there. And you don't have to worry about worrying about your shoulder coming out. Like, so if you have any kind of shoulder problems, like floor presses are great. And you can go pretty heavy. The other thing I like about them is you can come to a complete standstill. So kind of like the whole reason with like box squats, if you actually sit on the box and like stop all momentum, because a big thing with like lifting is a lot of it is like having that like momentum. So if we come down and we stop and we actually stop all movement, pause, you come to a complete standstill, that doesn't mean relax. So you're gonna stop movement, but you're gonna keep the contraction the whole time, come to a complete standstill, and then press up again. Anytime you come to a complete standstill and press again, it recruits more muscle fibers. So we're gonna be in a glute bridge, blah, blah, blah. So your glute bridge is just like here, very similar to a decline. We're into our decline press. So how I normally get these up is I go on my elbows and then just rock these back. Get your shoulder blades nice and set. And then you'll start pretty much from the bottom. And then when I go up, I'm doing just a slight internal rotation, and then I will come back down this way. But then my arms are what are going to stop me. So I come to a complete standstill and then I press up. Complete standstill and press up. Slow on the way down. So you don't want to just drop your shoulder, drop your arms to the ground, because one, that's not going to feel good. So you'll have to concentrate on really slow on the way down. Pause for a good 1-2 seconds, and then explode up. We'll then go to, so we're doing 8 to 10 there. So you're going as heavy as you possibly can. And again, remember, We don't have to worry about our shoulders too much here, so you can go a little bit heavier because you're not going to strain your shoulders at all on this one. And most people are going to be stronger in a decline, so you can go pretty heavy here. Don't look at these weights, we're getting heavier after that. We're then going to go, now if you have the availability of doing that, that's why I did like a dumbbell. I don't have anyone in my gym, but we're gonna take one cable and we're doing single arm, cross body, low to high fly, incline fly. So cross body means here's my midline. My hand is basically gonna come across my midline, basically to the other side of my, to my other shoulder. So more range of motion. Before we were talking about a little less range of motion, this is where we're gonna get more. So when you stop here, this is a great contraction, but just imagine if you could go like this. And a lot of times when you're doing like 2 cables at once, it can be a little bit annoying. You can do them 2 at once. So if you want to do that, that's fine. I'm gonna go single and just really concentrate on one arm at a time. And this hand should pretty much line up with my other shoulder. So we're coming from a low angle, flying up, so that means elbow slightly bent. It stays in that slightly bent position that whole entire time. We're gonna come across our body, low to high, and it's going to pretty much come about even with your face to get a little bit more shoulder action, and then crossing the midline to get a bigger, deeper contraction through our chest. Because we're here, if we stop here, this is great. Even if we turn a little bit, great. But if I can come across here, you can literally just feel it. Just try it on yourself and then come across. No matter what, it's just a better contraction. So single arm, cross body, low to high fly. A lot of times, this will also be great for your core, because anytime you're doing unilateral, you have to keep your core nice and tight so that you're not like twisting and turning with it. Keep your shoulders square the whole entire time, and then you're gonna step out just a little bit. So already right now I can feel it on my shoulder and on my upper chest, and then we're just going cross our body to the opposite side. So here, keep your core tight, shoulders stay square. So if you start going like this and you're turning with it, we don't want that. Shoulders stay nice and square, so tighten up your legs, tighten up your glutes, tighten up your core. And the only thing moving is that arm. 8 to 10 per side. Alright guys, that is chest day. This is just a sample of what you can get when you train with me on DanaLynnBailey.com, the DLB Daily. I give you a workout every single day of the week. It's 365 days a year. We don't take days off. You take them off wherever you want. But I give you a workout every single day. $7 a month. First 7 days are free, so come try it out. If this workout was enjoyable, it's something that you like to do, you want to gain more muscles, you want to look good in your selfies, come join me on the DLB Daily, DanaLynnBailey.com. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, so you never miss another video, and I'll see you on my site. I'm ready to train you. Let's go.